Hey guys, Steven here from Big Number One Motorsports, sitting in the 2021 Can-Am Maverick Sport XMR, and I want to tell you a couple things about this machine that separates it from the pack and is the reason why you should choose this for your riding season in 2021. So to start with, we're going to skip over some of the basics like the power and suspension, but we're going to jump straight into some of the electronics that it has. So to start with is the four-wheel drive system. So similar to the limited slip system that diverts power to the wheels that are needed that you are used to, you now have the option to lock the front diff into place with just the push of a button. So what that means for you is when you put this into four-wheel drive and lock the diff, instead of the machine directing the power to the wheel that needs it most, which is not always ideal, especially in mud situations, it's actually going to give power to both front wheels to help pull you out of that sticky mud hole. Which versus a lot of systems where the front diff is unlocked, that's going to give you the extra edge you need if you're at bogs and boulders next year. Okay. Also too, on top of that, you have your mud and your trail mode. This is going to affect the way that, again, your four-wheel drive system diverts power. And basically what it boils down to, in trail mode, it's going to be the standard Visco lock four-wheel drive system that we're all used to, where if the right front wheel needs power, it's going to give power to that front wheel and not your left wheel that might be hanging off the ground. Hopefully not, but sometimes that happens. While in mud mode, it's going to divert all of that power equally, because again, in those sticky situations, you need all four tires and wheels pulling you out of that hole, and that's going to give you the extra pull and traction that you need to do so. Now, if you're familiar with mud riding or the XMR series from Can-Am, you already know that they come factory snorkeled to help you get the air intakes out of the water. You already know that the XMR packages come with a winch. But two things I want to tell you about that I think are a big deal that don't get enough attention are, one, these 30-inch Cryptid tires from ITP. Very aggressive tread pattern. Which is going to, again, get you into and out of the mud effectively. But what I particularly like about these versus like a lot of the big Outlaws and other tires that people are putting on their mud machines is that because of the design of the tread, they actually still perform really smooth and relatively smooth and very well, even on the trails, because you can't get to a mud hole without at least hitting some trails to get to it. So the tire profile, the tread profile on these tires is going to do both, get you to the mud and get you out of that mud. Another thing that I like to talk about, again, that I don't think gets talked about enough, and is why I think the XMR Sport from Can-Am is such a great machine, is your arched A-arms. So most of your A-arms come straight from point A to point B, which decrease the amount of usable ground clearance that you have. 13-14 inches of ground clearance is all great unless there's an A-arm cutting across that's minimizing that. So by arching the A-arm, you now have much more usable ground clearance than if it was just your standard dual A-arm approach. Combine all of those features with things like full doors to keep the mud and sticks off of you and your passengers, one of the most bulletproof engines in the side-by-side and power sports world, the road tax that Can-Am puts in these, and then world-class ergonomics that make you comfortable while you're riding in it, and you have a machine that you're not going to want to come off the trails in. If this is something you'd like to look a little closer at this year, give me a call, come on down, we'll let you take a seat in it. My name is Steven, the number here is 205-942-3313.